The following may contain strong opinionated views. The views and opinions expressed on this show does not necessarily reflect the views or the opinions of any social media or broadcast platform.
Hi, welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interaction. Sports with Brian Camp. So settle in with coffee in hand and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Well, thank God it's Friday. TGIF, here we are once again gathered around the breakfast table at work or wherever you may congregate on this Friday. We thank you so much for being along with us. Welcome to another edition of the Coffee Hour. My name is Frank Allan. I'm going to be with you for a whole full hour. We gather each Friday around this time. We all get together, have a little coffee, break bread together, and have a little conversation, which reminds me that we're going to get everyone in a conversation because this is your show. You make the show, and that's what we're going to do. We're so glad to have you aboard with us, and we want to say hello to all of our friends who've been around with us all of these years. That's you guys who have been with us since the beginning. So we always take time and thank you for that. Now, we may have some new people in the room for the very first time, so we want to acknowledge them. We acknowledge you. We invite you to come in and join us and stay with us for the full hour if you possibly can. If you can't stay for the full hour, possibly you could spend as much time as you can, and we really would appreciate that. We're coming to you live from New York City. That's where we originate. And we don't stop there because we're all around the world because this show is global. So you can get everybody in on the act. Now, for all of you new guys who've been around with us, this is how the show starts. I'll get things rolling. I'm in the prep mode right now, and while I'm prepping along, at any time at all, even right now, you don't have to wait another minute. Even right as we speak, you can type in whatever you want to talk about. I'll see you right there on the big screen. I'll entertain all of your thoughts and ideas because that's what the show is all about. It's free of exchange of ideas and of opinions. And of course, all of us have them. I have them. We all have them. So why don't we combine all of those ideas and opinions and make conversation? You can talk about anything you want. Now, if there's a particular subject that you want to elaborate on, we talk about it all. Sports, politics, everything. If you just want to chime in, just type it right in. Let your fingers do the walking on your computer, on your telephone, on your pad, your iPad, or your all of those devices that you use to carry us. All right. And we'll be looking forward for a good conversation. We got a good show planned for you today. We're going to give you the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. Brian Camp is going to be around with us with that. And we've got that coming for you. And later on in the program, I have all of those great movies that each week I go to the Turner Classic Movie Vault and pick out the best movies I can find, my picks for the week for your weekend. I know you do a lot of things on the weekend. And of course, one of the things that you may want to do is catch up on some movies. So that's where I stick my 2 cents in and bring those classic movies. Some are black and white, some are in color, but they're classics, and I bring them each week for you. So we have that. Remember, all of the views and the opinions expressed on this show, the Coffee Hour, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinion of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Zoom, or any other social media outlet or broadcast facility. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, let's do what we normally do. Let's lift our cups without elements in it, raise them, because what would the Coffee Hour be without a little coffee? So, excuse me while I shoot up. Mm. Oh boy, that's delicious. That's fantastic. I hope that you're enjoying yours, whether it's coffee, tea, or any other beverage that you may use. We want you to enjoy it with us and take the full hour and just let's reminisce and talk about all kinds of subjects. My co-host, Brian Camp of the Coffee Hour, is with me. Of Talkback Live, my co-host of Talkback Live is with me right now. He's got the latest developments in today's world of sports. He's got all of that coming up, and he's with me right now, coming to you from the sunny side of the Queen City, and that Queen City is
Charlotte, North Carolina. It's the Queen City where the Wright brothers created the first airplane. A little
wow.
history there. That's
Oh,
right,
wow,
the Wright brothers. Yep,
that's that's great. Well, see, I guess living in Charlotte, you have to do your history and find out what took place there. Being that you're a native New Yorker, but moving out to Charlotte, you want to make sure that you find the history and the knowings of everything that happened in Charlotte. So that's good to know. The Wright brothers.
absolutely.
That's good.
Absolutely. It's good.
Now
It's
let
good
me.
to know your history that when you relocate to a place, you want to know the history of his ups and his downs. All of that comes as part of history. And you would want that as well, too. So that's
Right.
important for sure.
So, with that being said, I have one more question for you. Maybe you answered this question before, I'm not sure, or maybe I never asked before. How did it become the Queen City?
Um, there's a story behind that. I don't know exactly. I read up on it a while ago, wasn't too sure on it, but I'll get back to you on that. And
Mhm.
before the show ends, of course, I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah. All right.
Mhm.
Well, we're here, and thank you for being along with us. And you're going to spend the full hour with us, of course, right?
That is correct, yes.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah.
And while we're at it, I want to say hello to Warren Dassler out of Greensville, North Carolina, who's 90 minutes away from you. He's got 59 degrees outside and clear skies, and it's going to go high at 65 today, right there. Warren, that's good. Keep us informed of that. Keep us informed of the weather. That's great. And oh, by the way, Warren is watching us on Facebook today. So there
Mhm.
you go.
Well,
There
he
you go.
got he got that. Well, it's 61 degrees here in Charlotte. The high is going to be 75. So it's going to be a bit warmer on this
Okay.
side of town than it is over there. But it may change. It may change and it may be a little bit warmer. Who knows?
Okay.
We'll see.
Okay. We're supposed to be going as high as 77 degrees. I have to double check on that though. 77 degrees.
Mhm.
And something, we talked last night about the weather here in New York. By the time we get to the weekend, it's going to warm up a bit. And by
Mhm.
next week, we're going to be somewhere in the 90s. But then later on, as the week progresses, it's going to drop again. So it's kind of still yo yo, but it's gradually getting there. It's gradually getting that summertime heat, which I like so much. People say, I can't stand the heat, but something living in a city, in New York City, not only does it get hot, it's all right to get hot, but to be hot and humid, that's another thing. That's different. And that's when you start to swelter in that kind of weather. And because we're surrounded by water anyway. So that's what
That
people
could
are.
be unbearable weather too at the same time. So
Yeah.
you want to, if it's going to be hot, let it be like hot, like maybe Vegas or Arizona, where it's just pure hot heat. But when it gets muggy and the humidity is outrageous, it's really tough to even breathe for people that have breathing problems too. So you want to
Yeah.
make sure that you under some cool weather. Went to Arizona and Vegas one time, and the best time to go outside is early in the morning, like 5 or 6 a.m. or 7 o'clock at night.
Mhm.
So very, very important.
But the
Very
good thing
important.
about those places over there is that they're surrounded by desert. So as
Yeah.
opposed to being water, so they don't get a lot of humidity, which is good. So the heat is good, but the humidity is bad.
Mm.
But listen, you take the bitter with the sweet. That's what goes on. It is
Absolutely.
May, and we're in the month of May, and all this month of May, right through the whole month of May, we'll be celebrating Jewish American Heritage Month. So, all of my Jewish brothers and sisters who are celebrating right now, uh, include us in and let us celebrate with you. If there are activities going on in your community, we would like to know that so we can pass along to others. A lot of things are good happening. And when the bad things that happen, we just outweigh them. We had that recent situation where people going through Jewish communities painting swastikas on buildings and synagogues and that kind of stuff. But we try to make the positive, take the negative and turn it into a positive. So we want to celebrate with you guys. Also, it's Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month as well. So all of my friends there in that community, the Asian community, the Islander community. We thank you. We salute you. And again, if you have any thing that you want to talk about your heritage, or maybe you want to talk about activities that are going on in your community too, celebrations, anything like that, just type it right in there. We'll see you and we'll celebrate with you. It's also National Blood Education Pressure Month. We want to take care of that. And as I mentioned many times before, all of this month, and it doesn't have to be just this month, as it should be on a regular basis. And it doesn't have to be every day that you check your blood pressure, but do it on a regular basis as much as possible. I'm due to do mine right now, so maybe when I get off the air, I'll do that. But make sure that you keep that at a certain level of your blood pressure. And if it's higher than that, see your doctor. Make sure that he or she will tell you what to do to alleviate or bring down the pressure for you. Okay.
Absolutely.
And that's right. And it's National Dental Care Month. Make sure you take care of that. And you go every 6 months. That's semi-annual cleaning, which I'll be taking at the end of the month. That's the day. That's the day after uh, Memorial Day. I'll be going there to take care of that, and you take care of yours too. National Military Appreciation Month. So happy military to all of you guys out there. Happy military. And also it's I said this last week, so this must, yeah, no, it's National Military Spouse American Day. So I should have lumped that into one thing. National Military Appreciation Month, along with National Military Spouse Appreciation Day. So that's what we're celebrating today. So we salute all of our soldiers, and we take good care of them. We love them. If no one else does, we do around here. And Brian, it's Malcolm X Day. Now, although Malcolm X's birthday is the 19th of this month, they set aside today would be Malcolm X Day.
Wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know when was his birthday. I just always knew when he was assassinated, which was in February in the Out-of-Bound Ballroom in New York City.
I think it was
That was
the 21st of February, I think it was. If I
that was in 1965, I believe it was 64,
Yeah,
65.
but it was
Yeah,
1965. I think it was February 21st, 1965.
February 21st.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And so his birthday is the 19th of May. And but it's today, I looked that up. It's Malcolm X Day. So
Okay, Malcolm X Day. Happy
yeah.
birthday to the late Malcolm X and to his family, who's still alive, and wish him nothing but the best. I have something for you. Charlotte,
Mhm.
North Carolina is called a Queen City because it's named in honor of Queen Charlotte of Mecklenburg Strikes, the wife of British King George III, King George III. There you
Mhm.
have it. I knew it
Ah,
was something that dealt with the royal family. I just didn't know exactly what it was. I read about it when I first got here, but as time went on, you just forget about it. But everybody knows that this is the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina, and
mm.
it's just royalty.
Queen
Makes me
Charlotte.
feel great. Yeah,
Queen
yeah.
Charlotte. Hey, that
Mhm.
reminds me, in wrestling, that takes me back to wrestling. We have a wrestler by the name of Charlotte Flair. That's Ric Flair's daughter. And they're from Charlotte, North Carolina. So go figure,
Yeah.
you know.
Woo!
And she calls
Woo!
and she mocks us. Yeah, and she does that now. She
Oh,
does
she
that.
did.
Yeah. She took over that now. That's her signature now. And she calls herself the queen. So her given name, I can't remember it offhand. I'll have to look that up later. Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair
Charlotte Flair.
from the Queen
Wow.
City. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what we got, Malcolm X Day, and I'm glad that we're celebrating that. We talk about it now because on the 19th, actually, it's his actual birthday. We should always remember that. And I remember the old memory of Malcolm X when he was assassinated. I never forget that time. I
It was on a Sunday
remember
afternoon. It was a Sunday
that's
afternoon,
right.
wasn't it?
That's
Yeah.
right. It was a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
It was a Sunday afternoon, and course, I remember all of the assassinations and where I was when it happened. I remember those. So we had a lot
The
of great
60s
men.
was something. There was a lot of assassinations. My
There were.
goodness. And it was just starting from Mega Evans to both Kennedy brothers, to MLK, to Malcolm X. It was just the Black Panthers came on to
Yeah.
late 60s. Woodstock was there.
Yeah.
60s was wow.
It was wild. It was wild. But we had good times in the 60s.
Yeah.
There were good times. I mean, even though we had all of those things that were going on, living, I came up in the projects. We didn't have a dime in our pocket every day, not every day of the week, but we always had a good meal every night. And we had a good time. The
Yeah.
60s provided us with a good time when you grew up in that era. Now, I'll tell you a wild time. I'll tell you a real wild time. The 70s. The
Oh yeah.
70s was wild because that was so much drugs and that was a disco era, and there was a lot of drugs, and a lot of people didn't survive that era. We all survived the 60s, but a lot of us didn't survive the 70s. So I'm glad I survived both of those eras. But they
Yeah,
were
I was
all,
born in the 60s, but I used to
yeah,
love the 70s. The 70s
yeah.
to me is my favorite decade because that's when the disco scene came along, where you
That's
see
right.
every ethnic group all in one building, all in one
That's right.
club.
That's right.
And I really love the 70s. I love the 70s during the summertime. We used to play RCK, Run, Catch, and Kiss. Just make sure that we catch the beautiful, cute girls. We didn't want to catch the ugly girls because if you caught the ugly girl, then you had to kiss them and everything. So we try to avoid that. And some of the ugly girls would get caught on purpose.
Well, they had to make the best out of it. They had to make.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, they wanted to play the game. They got in on the game. It was fun though, but it was. But the 70s was a great. It was a great time too. I remember I came up through the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and up until now. And I got to tell you, I can after the 80s, I kind of like, well, you're older now and you don't go out and you don't party, you don't do that anymore, because you grow up. But it's a different time now. It's a different time. And as Warren put it, the sexy 70s. It was the sexy 70s. And we that was the sexy 70s. He's right. We were the swinging 60s. And I think in the night, and then there was before that was the fabulous 50s. So everybody had a great time doing their era. I would imagine that the kids today they're saying they're having a great time, and I'm thinking, in this day and age, who's having a great time? But you don't know because we're not kids anymore. So all of us
Mhm.
had a great time. All of us
Yeah.
had the
Yeah.
sexy 70s. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, just in case you're just joining us, the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. And we're going to spend time with you for the balance of the hour. We hope that you stay with us. If you can't stay with us for the entire hour, I hope that you could stay. But if you have to leave early, we appreciate the time that you have spent with us. Now, those of you who are going to join in conversation with us, and I hope that you do, because we love to address you personally, give us your weather forecast like Warren did. And it doesn't have to be anything spectacular, no big. You're not a meteorologist, so you don't have to worry about that. Just simple, just like Warren did. He says he's got 59 degrees going on right now, going up to 65 degrees and clear. That's it. Or you can drop in some kind of emoji and I'll kind of catch it. You know, I'll kind of get it. If it's a rainy emoji, a sunny emoji, or a cloudy emoji, whatever it is, and that would be great. We like to compare notes as far as the weather is concerned. Our weather is different from yours. Yours is different from someone else's. So we just like to compare notes. But for those of you who live in New York or even in the vicinity of New York City, you don't have to worry about it because I'm going to take care of all of that. Right. As a matter of fact, I should do that right now. Just to get it out of the way, should do that right now. Um, we've got not a bad weather forecast for this weekend. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not the best, but it's not bad. And and the warm up is coming underway as well. So it's gonna look good. Now, if you're into that real hot, intense heat, you don't have to worry about that. That's not happening. We're not going to get a lot of rain in the forecast. Nothing like that is going to happen. But it's going to be. Eh, I was going to use the word half, but I'm not going to use that second word. It's 58 degrees right now. It's 58 degrees right now. That's what we got for the moment, and it looks good. So here's our weather forecast as we start the day. It's going to be sunny skies and much warmer today. No. That's another day. That's another day. Wrong day. Friday is what we're looking at. It's going to be cloudy skies. We're going to have a high 69 degrees. No rain in the forecast so far. Winds will be northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And for Friday night, that's tonight, it'll be partly cloudy skies, low 54. Winds will be west northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And Saturday, as I started to read it, but this is for Saturday, sunny skies, much warmer. We'll have a high 79 degrees. Winds will be southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. The warm up is on the way. Partly cloudy Saturday night. We have a low 66. Winds will be southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And Sunday, as you wrap up our weekend and get ready to go back to the grind on Monday, it's going to be sunshine along some cloudy intervals. We'll have a high 87 degrees. Winds will be west at 5 to 10 miles per hour. 58 degrees right now. And right now, the sun is out for the moment. So that's what it is. Well, Brian, here we are. Sports. We've got to have sports. Sports update. Brian Kemp, the latest developments in today's world of sports.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be around the globe. I'm coming to you live from the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina, where presently is 61 degrees and sunny, going up to 75. There's a lot that's going on for this weekend and in sports in general. The National Football League released its schedule last night, and for only the second time, the regular season will start on a Wednesday. The Super Bowl champions Seattle Seahawks, whenever a team wins the Super Bowl, they're usually the first team to start off the new season for the following season. So they will start off on September 9th. They don't have an opponent yet. They're still trying to put that together. But as you know, they got to play their division teams. They got to play their conference team. And I believe they have to play 4 interconference games with teams from the AFC. So that will come out soon. The season is starting midweek to accommodate the first regular season game in Melbourne, Australia. The Los Angeles Rams will play the San Francisco 49ers on Thursday, September 10th at 8:35 p.m. Eastern Time. For the U.S. audience, that's for us that live in the United States. Melbourne is 14 hours ahead of New York and 17 hours ahead of Los Angeles. And if you want to throw in Hawaii, add on 3 more hours, that's 20 hours. The NFL will play a record 9 international games in 2026 across our continents and 7 countries. The last time the NFL season started on a Wednesday was 2012. That was to accommodate then President Barack Obama's speech at the Democratic National Convention the following day. In the NBA, the Memphis Grizzlies forward Brandon Clark has lost his life. He had passed away. The team, his agency and the NBA was said this happened Tuesday. He was only 29 years old. Neither the Grizzly nor Clark's agency, which is Priority Sports, provided any details about his death. LAPD sources confirmed to ABC News that Clark was found dead from a possible drug overdose, possible, nothing definite, Monday in a home located in Los Angeles. San Fernando Valley, narcotics were found at the scene there were no evidence of foul play, sources told ABC News. The Los Angeles Medical Examiner website currently lists Clark's cause of death as deferred, pending on additional investigation on its official website. More sad news in the NBA, Jason Collins, who is the twin brother of Gerard Collins, the NBA, he was the first openly gay player who served as a global ambassador for the sport for the past decade, has died of a brain cancer. His family said Tuesday he was 47. Collins told ESPN in November that he had been diagnosed stage 4 brain cancer, one of the deadliest forms of brain cancer. He traveled to Singapore this past winter to receive experimental treatments not yet authorized in the United States. These treatments were effective enough for him to return home, attend the NBA All-Star Weekend events in Los Angeles, and go to a game at his alma mater, which is him and his brother attended at Stanford University. Collins retired in 2014 after a 13-year battle that included stops with the New Jersey Nets, Memphis Grizzlies, the Minnesota Timberwolves, Atlanta Hawks, Boston Celtics, Washington Wizards, and a return to the Nets after they moved to Brooklyn. He announced that he was gay in 2013. Sports Illustrated cover story, becoming the first publicly gay athlete to play in any of the 4 major North American sports leagues. Now, kind of differ. I got to do some research. I thought Michael Sams was the first openly gay athlete who played in the NFL. I'll get that information first later on before we end the show. I had a debate. There wasn't a debate, but it was wondering why somebody had posted why they have to mention that he was openly gay. And instead of just saying that he lost his life through brain cancer. Yes, they're absolutely right. I had to reassure the individual that the reason why that it was important to mention that he was the first openly gay athlete, because he broke barriers in the gay community. He broke barriers in all the sports, just like Jackie Robinson broke barriers of the color of his skin as the first African-American to play Major League Baseball. Earl Lloyd, the first NBA player to be to break barriers, and of course in the football and in hockey as well. So it's not so much that they're trying to pry into his business, but is breaking barriers, and that's important. Yes, he did die of brain cancer. We mourn his death, but the history that he made history to bring awareness that he broke barriers. That's all it is breaking barriers, nothing to it. Major League Baseball, the Royals and the White Sox game at Wright Field was delayed for a brief time Wednesday after a fan fell into the Kansas City Royals bullpen in right field. He's alive. They say he's not dead, but why in the hell are you falling into the Kansas City Royals bullpen? Well, with Royals shortstop Bobby Witt Jr. at the plate in the top of the 4th inning, the game was halted with the Royals shortstop was when a stadium official flagged the attention of an Empire crew chief, Chris Conroy, alerting him to the incident. Both managers were summoned from their respective dugouts for an explanation after receiving assistance. The fan was taken out of the bullpen on a gurney. The White Sox said that the fan was subsequently taken to a local hospital for further treatment, but did not provide details of the fan's condition nor the nature of the injuries. Now, let me stop right there. We don't know why he fell. I don't know why he fell. They don't know why he fell. But I'm going to go out on a hunch to say this. Alcohol should not be in arenas or in baseball stadiums. I understand you want to have fun. And I'm not saying that he fell off because he was drunk or anything like that, but I know after a certain time in these games, after the 7th inning, no more alcohol. Shouldn't be no alcohol, period. You there to enjoy the game. You take one drink and then you're going to lose your mind. You're going to start talking about players and their mothers and their wives and their children was just off limits. And I think that should be left put aside. So I'm going to leave it there. This day on sports, May 15th, Ty Cobb, in 1912, rushes a heckler at a New York Highlander game and is suspended. Well, maybe Ty Cobb was probably drinking too. If he's going to just attack a heckler and was suspended, makes you wonder. Got to work both ways. You don't know what players was drinking or taking back then. In 1918, Washington Senators Walter Johnson pitched a 1-0 victory and pitched 18 innings. 1938, Buck O'Neil makes his debut playing for the Negro League Kansas City Monarchs. 1965, Canadian Football Players Association is being organized. 1968, Paul McCartney and John Lennon appear on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson to promote Apple Records. Joe Garagiola is substitute host. Okay. 1981, comedy TV comedy film, The Harlem Globetrotters on Gilligan Islands airs on NBC. 1989, Toronto Blue Jays fire Jimmy Williams, replace him with Clarence Cito Gaston. Now, let me stop there. Cito Gaston was the first African-American to win a World Series as manager, and when he replaced Jimmy Williams on that date. A lot of people don't talk about that. He wasn't hired, but he replaced him. 1991, U.S. President George H.W. Bush takes Queen Elizabeth II to an Oakland A's game versus the Baltimore Orioles, which she found out that was dull, and she only lasted for 2 innings. Well, what in the hell are you going to come to a game and you only going to stay for 2 innings? This is America. May you rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth. But if it was that dull, you should have never went to the game. This is America. This is how we play baseball. If you don't like it, you should have been told ahead of time. This day in sports, birthdays. 1940, happy birthday, Don Nelson, NBA small forward, 5-time NBA champion and coach, 3-time coach of the year, top 10 coach of all time, was born in Muskegon, Michigan. 1953, George Brett, Major League Baseball Hall of Famer, third baseman, 13-time All-Star, 1980 MVP, 1985 World Series, was born in Glendale, West Virginia. 1967, John Smoltz, Major League Baseball Hall of Famer pitcher, 8-time All-Star, 1995 World Series, 1996 Cy Young Award, was born in Warren, Michigan. 1969, Emmitt Smith, all-time leading rusher, NFL Hall of Fame running back, all-time rusher leading, 3-time Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP, was born in Pensacola, Florida. 1970, Desmond Howard, NFL wide receiver, 1991 Heisman Trophy award winner, and 1996 Super Bowl MVP, was born in Cleveland, Ohio. And Ray Lewis, born in 1975, NFL linebacker, Hall of Fame award winner, 13-time Pro Bowl, 2000 Super Bowl MVP for the Ravens, was born in Bartow, Florida. So since we're talking about Jewish heritage, I'm going to talk about baseball player, famous baseball player, Sandy Koufax. But let me give you a list of great Jewish heritage names that's in the industry of entertainment, sports. Film and television, you have Natalie Portman, Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones, Scarlett Johansson, Gail Gadot, Paul Newman, Timothy Chalamet, and Michael Douglas, along with his father, Kirk Douglas. You got comedy entertainment. You got Adam Sandler, Jerry Steinfeld, Billy Crystal, and Larry David. Music, you got Bob Dylan, Drake. That's right, Drake. His mother was Jewish. And Barbra Streisand, who the first person I thought about, I think she's one of the greatest female singers of all time. Historical culture impact. Albert Einstein is widely recognized for his immense contribution towards science. But I want to talk about Sandy Koufax. Sandy Koufax was awarded a basketball scholarship to the University of Cincinnati in 1953. His plans include a career in architect. Instead, Koufax made a living on a baseball diamond, becoming one of the most dominating left-handed pitchers of all time. Born on December 30th, 1935 in Brooklyn, New York, the one and only, Koufax impressed a scout who saw him throw for his college baseball team. In 1954, he signed a contract with the Brooklyn Dodgers that contained a bonus which required at that time for Koufax to report to a minor league team for 2 years. With a limited baseball background, Koufax struggled with control at first, but used his raw talent to begin regularly throwing for the Dodgers in 1958. That's the time they was about to move, or they did move from Brooklyn to LA. When the team moved to LA and out in the West Coast in 1959, Koufax struck out 18 Giants, my San Francisco Giants, in 9 innings and set a major league record for strikeouts in 2 games with 31. In 1963, Koufax led the league in wins with 25, an ERA of 1.88, in shutouts with 11, strikeouts with 306. He won both the Cy Young Award in the National League for Most Valuable Player Award that same season. The 6-time All-Star would go on to win 2 more Cy Young Awards, 1965 and 1966, finishing second in the MVP voting and leading the league in wins both seasons. He won 5 straight National League ERA titles from 1962 to 1966 and led the Dodgers to the National League pennant in 1963 and 65, and in 66 winning the World Series in 63 and 65. But he will be remembered most on October 6, 1965. The LA Dodgers ace, Sandy Koufax, famously declined to pitch. He didn't want to pitch on game 1 of the World Series against the Minnesota Twins because he felt Yom Kippur, the holiest day in Judaism. His decision to prioritize faith over a championship stage made him a lasting symbol of Jewish pride and principle. Here's some key details about that. Game 1, he did not pitch for the World Series due to the atonement. The stance, despite the pressure of the World Series, Koufax stated, there are no dispositions for the particular day. I wouldn't feel right about it. The reaction was some view as a major controversy at that time. His action garnered immense respect and made him a role model with the American Jewish community. His replacement, here's a name for you that we all know. His replacement for that game was, guess who? Don Drysdale, another legend, pitched game 1 in his place and struggled promptly. The famous line of inner manager Walter Austin says, "I bet you wish I was Jewish too." And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports, and that's the Jewish heritage moment that I could give you for this week.
Allan James Freed, radio disc jockey from the 1950s, who coined the phrase rock and roll, was Jewish as well. Just thought I threw it on. He was my hero. I used to listen to him when I was a kid in the 1950s. On a school night, I remember he used to always come on from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m., of course, a school night. Mom is not going to allow you to stay up that late at night. You're in bed early. And so I would turn on the radio next to my bed and listen to his show until I fell asleep. That's how faithful I was to this guy.
Yeah.
That's how faithful. And he was my hero. And that was my inspiration into radio.
Before Dick Clark, it was Alan Freed that was the one that did, I guess you could say, American Bandstand. But
Yeah.
Alan Freed was the one that started all of this.
Yeah, well,
with teenagers.
Yeah. Well, Dick Clark started American Bandstand, which was in Philadelphia. That's where it started. It was local. It was local in Philadelphia before it was before it became national. But you're right. Alan Freed had this show called The Big Beat. That was the name of his show. He used to come on Channel 5 in New York. And before that's right, before the American Bandstand, the kids used to dance or be on the dance floor, and he used to play records and things like that. And plus, he had his radio show at the same time. So I just had to throw that one in. I had to throw that one in. Queen Elizabeth, you mentioned, went to how many innings? She didn't like baseball. She thought she liked it, but she didn't like it, right?
2 innings.
Two innings.
Yeah.
She just came in and left. That
Now, had this been a soccer match, she would have stayed.
Okay.
Because that's what they do in Europe. They call it football, but it's soccer to us.
Yeah. They still call it football.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. But that reminds me of a certain person who attends football games and stays there for about a minute until he's booed out of the stadium.
I wonder who could that be?
Oh well, whatever. And this is a guy that doesn't know anything about football. He claims he knows anything about football. He doesn't know anything about football. He doesn't know a touchdown from a layup.
Well, you know what? I'll give him credit. He does know something about football. He has a football history. Remember, he owned the New Jersey Generals back in the USFL.
That doesn't mean he knows the game.
Well, you got to know some parts of the game if you're going to become ownership. Yeah, he give him credit. He does.
Listen, this guy will do.
He knows about Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker used to play for him. He made Herschel Walker run in Georgia. So he knows something about football. I gotta give him credit for that.
Yeah. Oh well, whatever. Yes, Warren, Allan Freed did have those rock and roll shows, those concerts, those holiday concerts at the Brooklyn Fox Theater. But his main event, his main venue was right down the street at the Brooklyn Paramount Theater. So yeah, he did do stuff at the Fox, but mostly Murray Decay was mostly there at the Fox. But Allan Freed did have those shows at the Fox Theater and the Brooklyn Paramount Theater in New York. And by the way, the Brooklyn Paramount building, that original building, is still up there. Now it's LIU. It's a college. And it's an icon. But that building is still up there. Still up there. New York Yankees are playing. Now, I brought them out because that's my favorite baseball team. They're playing tonight, starting tonight, and they're going to play the New York Mets. This is the World Series, not the World Series, the Subway Series. This is the Subway Series. And all I have to say is that they're in second place now. The Yankees are in second place right now. I want them to get back to where they were. And it seems to me the only way they can do that is play the scrub teams, because the good teams are kicking their butts. Now, this weekend, the New York Mets, and they're going to be playing at Citi Field tonight. And I would imagine Yankee Stadium the next day and then back to Citi Field. That's how they usually do it. The Yankees, to me, must, if they don't sweep the Mets, and we're talking about the Mets here. If they don't sweep the Mets, they have to at least win 2 games out of 3. Because if they don't, I'm going to be peed.
Well, you got to understand, Major League Baseball, it's a marathon. It's a marathon. You still got 4.5 months of full baseball. I mean, of course, you want to be pissed off, of course, peed off, whatever you want to say. But it's a marathon, and by the time you get to the end of September, these players, the fans are going to be tired. The only ones that's going to be interested is the teams that's going to be making the playoffs, to making a push to win the World Series. So, yeah, it's still early. I would worry about baseball, where your team is at after the All-Star break.
All right.
That's when you're going to start paying attention. Right now, it's a marathon.
But in the meantime, I still want the Yankees to beat the Mets, because the Mets are not doing very well. And if the Mets beat them more games than they should, then there's something wrong with the Yankees for whatever reason. But we'll see what happens.
Well, that's a different story. Yeah.
Yeah. I finally found out Charlotte Flair's real name is Ashley Elizabeth Flair, but the Flair, her real name Flair is spelled differently. It's Flier. No, yeah, let me see that. Yeah, Fliehr. That's a strange way of writing it, but it's
Hmm.
Elizabeth Ashley. No, Ashley Elizabeth Flair, and she has siblings too. Uh, by the way, her mother real first name is Elizabeth, so that's how she got the middle name. And Rick, of course, her father, and she has two. She had three siblings: Reed, Megan, and David. Just had to put that out. And she was born April 5th, 1986. He's 40 years old. Charlotte, North Carolina. Got all the details right here. So there you go. Okay, just in case you're just joining us, the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. And that was Brian Camp with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. Michael Pennington, the British Star Wars actor and theater actor, has died. Pennington's rep confirmed the news to BBC on Monday. The actor, best known for his appearance as Death Star Commander, that's Jarjarad, Mark Jarjarad, in 1983's Star Wars Return of the Jedi, has over 70 film and television credits to his name, including the 2011 uh, biographical drama The Iron Lady as British politician Michael Foot, and he played opposite to Meryl Streep, and he was 82 years old. Jennifer Harmon, as actress, celebrates for her work in productions such as One Life to Live and How to Survive a Marriage, has passed away. Her family has confirmed the news of her passing. Jennifer um, was best known for portraying the character Kathy in the popular TV series One Life to Live, and she was the fifth actress to take on this role, and she played the part from 1976 to 1980, 1976 to 1978. A performance for which she received a nomination for the Daytime Emmy Award. And prior to this, she appeared in a leading role in the NBC series How to Survive a Marriage during the 1974-75 season, and she was 82. Dua Lipa is suing Samsung for $15 million in a fight over using her image. Now, the popular pop singer uh, filed a massive lawsuit against the electronics giant last Friday, alleging that the Samsung used a picture of her face to sell TVs without getting her permission or offering her any payment. Can't do that. According to the complaint, Samsung allegedly began putting Lipa's image on um, marketing materials and cardboard boxes carrying her TVs all over the world at the start of 2025. And Lipa owned the copyright of the picture that's in question, which was taken backstage at the Austin City Limits Festival in 2024. When Lipa found out about the advertising, she again called Samsung to stop the using the picture, but the suit alleges that the company was dismissive and callous and refused her request. That takes a lot of balls to do something like that. Savannah Guthrie is stepping into a new role at NBC. The Today Show anchor announced that the network is launching a new game show based on Wordle. That's the popular online word game owned by the New York Times. With the help of executive producer Jimmy Fallon, Guthrie added that we've been holding this secret between us for a long time now. Van Morrison has a package 2026, had packed the 2026 on tap, uh, including a signature festival stops and 5-night run the London's newest venue. The vinyl edition of the Morris collection, the latest album, is also set for June. and he kicks off things with a multi-night stand at the Metropole Theater in Bremen, Germany, I believe that is. And tickets for Morrison's uh, London residency at the British Airwaves ARC goes on sale at 9 a.m. local time on Friday, May 15th. And there'll be advertising. And um, of course, there's no availability on when the tickets will be taking place, but you can get the tickets uh, when it's announced on the ticket line, ticketline.co.uk, or directly from his venue himself. And again, no dates are announced for the tickets, but stay tuned for that. Byron Allen's show will be replacing the late night show with Stephen Colbert. And fans are devastated when Stephen Colbert announced his show was being canceled. The late night talk show, Stephen Colbert, will be leaving CBS on May 21st. Colbert announced the cancellation in July last year, as he told viewers, it's not just the end of the show, it is the end of the late show on CBS, and it's not being replaced, it is just going away. Colbert's program is getting replaced by Byron Allen's Comic Unleash. And that's the final episode of The Late Show. Stephen Colbert will be featured some of a special guests, which will be including Jimmy Kimmel and John Oliver. Birthdays today. Rapper Melly Mel is 65. Songwriter and record producer Freddie Purin would have been 83. Former U.S. Secretary of State Madeleine Albright would have been 89. And singer Trenny Lopez would have been 89 as well. And actor Joseph Cotton would have been 121. So happy birthday to all for those who are around. And in this case, it's only Melly Mel. But the rest of you guys who are no longer around with us, you left us a good legacy. So we continue to acknowledge you each year your birthday comes around. So happy birthday to all. And if you're celebrating a birthday too and you would like us to know about it, please feel free to drop us a line or call us and we will acknowledge that. So all you have to do is email us. Email address is Frank Allen Prod. Allen is spelled Allan. Prod is Prod. That's Frank Allen Prod at AOL.com. It's Frank Allen Prod at AOL.com. Telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. Rex Reed, a film critic and journalist, who, with his sharp-tongued writings, appeared in New York City Daily News, died Tuesday in his apartment at home in New York City. Reed's longtime friend confirmed his death. In a statement to the New York Times, the writer's publicist, Sean Katz, added that Reed had a brief struggle with unspecified illness before he died, but his cause of death was not disclosed. He was 87 years old. You remember him, right, Brian?
I do remember him, yes. He was a big-time journalism, had some TV movie spots too as well, too. Yes.
That's right. I have those movies. I'm going to quickly go right through them. It's The Glass House. That's what we're going to start with. 1966, Doris Day, Arthur Godfrey, and John McGivern. That's Turner Classic Movies, Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. To Sir with Love, the original one from 1967 with Sidney Poitier, Turner Classic Movies, Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And Forbidden Planet, a classic from 1956, Walter Pidgeon, Anne Francis, and Leslie Nielsen. That's Turner Classic Movies. That's Sunday at 6:30 a.m. Eastern. And South Pacific, a musical from 1958 with Rosanna Brizzi, and that's also Mitzi Gaynor and John Kerr as Turner Classic Movies, Sunday at 5:15 p.m. Eastern. And of course, if you can't watch them in real time, DVR them. And of course, you can watch them at a later date. Well, Brian, we talked last night about your sleeping boy.
Yeah, one correction.
Yeah.
Just give me one correction. I said I would get back to you on this. Jason Collins publicly announced he was gay April 29th, 2013. Michael Sam, NFL first gay person to ever come out, February 10th of 2014. And they were both of them were excellent players. If I was a manager or coach, I would have them on my team. I want to make that clear. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. just as long as a certain person don't own the team, right? Anyway,
Exactly.
that
Yes.
certain person is still snoozing. He's in China right now. We talked about this last night, but I don't know if he's in China for the right reason because I don't understand. If China hates us, if Russia hates us, then why is he going to these places? And why is his son with him? What is the deal with that one? That's the thing I want to know. Why is his
Well,
son with him?
well, here's the thing. China made it very clear you're not going to touch Taiwan.
Mm.
Taiwan is China territory. So he made that clear. Now, whatever the president of the United States says, oh, he try to mix it up and make it look good. China made it clear you're not touching them. Yes, China do want this war to end with Iran, but they made it very clear to the United States, you're not going to touch Taiwan. Taiwan is China territory. If it gets ugly, then there's going to be some confusion. There's going to be some words, and words lead into war. We'll make that clear. So I don't know what kind of success it was him by going over there, why his sons was there. I don't know. I guess he got to have some kind of family there with him.
Let's just call a spade a spade. We're not stupid people. He's there out there to make a deal. He's out there to make a deal. Let's just bring it out there. Let's not, dance around this whole thing. He's out there for a reason. He doesn't travel with his father. Are you kidding me? Gotta be joking.
He's trying to promote the Donald Trump phone. He's trying to go compete against Apple. Now, what I was told that it doesn't hold too many storage space like the regular iPhones and the other phones that they have out. But he's trying to sell the phones, the Trump phone, which I will never buy.
Well, don't worry. You don't have to buy them because there will be people buying. There's a sucker born every day. And there will be people buying. I hate to say it that way, but when I talk about these MAGA people, these MAGA Republicans, that don't want to face the fact that this whole thing is over. They're not going to do any better than the rest of us, because he already said that he doesn't care. And I read the statement last night when it was questioned by a reporter asked Trump, and I quote, "To what extent are the American financial situations motivating you to make a deal?" And his answer was, "Not even a little bit. I don't think about American financial situations." Not in the, that's the nut in the shell, or the what do you this? What was the whatever the phrase was? That's all. It's in a nutshell.
Yeah,
that's it. That answers everything. And if you can't understand that, then there's something wrong. And for people with common sense, go out and vote. The midterms. This is important. You teenagers, if you're of age right now, you're of the age of 18. This is your golden opportunity. Your first time. Get out there and vote. We need you. This can't go on. This is crazy.
Think about your ancestors who wanted to vote, could not vote. It was killed trying to vote. And then even when you had the opportunity to vote, you had to take a what's it called? A literacy test to see whether or not you passed that test to vote. There's so much history that our young people have to learn. They have to know this here. I know this is a different generation. You all want to say what you want to say. You don't want to listen to us. It's your future. Did our part. Dr. King did his part. Now it's up to you to do your part.
When I was 16 or 17 or so, I remember my mom took me to a voting place. When she went out to vote, she insisted that I go with her. I didn't understand why. I wasn't old enough to vote, and I didn't understand why I had to know about it. But it was very important to her that I went with her. So I saw exactly how she did it. She went into, back then they had the machine. You go into the booth, draw the curtain, and then they had those levels, those levers. You press them down, whoever you wanted to vote for. It was important for her that I went with her to see that because she said, this is what you're going to be doing in a couple of years. And
Right.
and when I was able to vote, they still had those machines. When I started voting, they still have those machines. They don't have them anymore today because now you have to write your vote in, and then you just have to put it in a scanner or whatever it is at the end of it, and that's it. But that's what she did. She took me to the polling place with her and showed me what I had to do.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to wrap up things for today. I really appreciate you being with us. We're going to be back here. We'll see you back here next week. How about that?
Sounds good. Everybody enjoy your weekend and be safe. Have fun.
Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, my weekend is officially underway. Yours is coming up next, but we'll be back here next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern for Talk Back Live. Brian Kemp, my co-host, will be with me. And of course, the latest developments in today's world of sports. And we'll be back here next Friday at 10 a.m. for the coffee hour. Brian Kemp will be here as well with sports. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you soon. Take care.
You've been watching The Coffee Hour with your host Frank Allan. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Coffee Hour.